In this video, I'm just going to cover some very basic Roku streaming features. Here I have it on my home screen, and you can see in the upper right that I have 59 items, not necessarily all channels. If I go up here, you can see some of these are inputs, like add channels here, have a sleep timer, have an AV input over here. So first I'm going to go over how to stream or scroll once you're in your home grid. I have it set up where my favorite channels and the ones we use more frequently are at the beginning of this grid. I have the main movie channels that we watch, sports channels. So you see Spectrum, we subscribe to Spectrum. We have the Spectrum app, of course Netflix, YouTube, and a few sports channels there, ESPN, NFL. Got some live TV there that has hundreds of channels, and so on. So my favorites are at the beginning and at the end. Now you can scroll through these using the navigation, and I went over some of the main features at the beginning of the video. The up down arrow, right to left, and so on. You can also use the rewind button and the fast forward button on your streaming section of the remote. Here if I press the fast forward, and then if I pass the rewind, it scrolls pretty fast. And I use that a lot when I'm on the Spectrum app. But here's the way I usually do it. I have the main channels, like I said, on the beginning here and at the end. Because instead of scrolling all the way down to the end, and you see I have 59 items there, I just go up. So, going to be on the grid though. So if I want to go to the end of the grid, with the home grid here, I just hit the up arrow. And these are two channels that I've been watching quite a bit, Tubi and Pluto. I like the Pluto channel, and this is free, because you can create your own favorites. I go here to the guide. The ones that I have there with the heart, those are favorite channels we watch. Now in this app or channel, they have a whole channel for just Judy, all day long. TV Land, Forensic Files, Blue Bloods, Jeopardy, The Rifleman, and so on. A bunch of channels, and of course you can also go to on demand over here on the far left, and you can fast forward and watch other content. Now the stuff over here with the channels, this is live. If you watch any of these, this will be live. However, if you press the rewind button, it starts it from the beginning, and then you can pause and fast forward as you want. But there's a lot of channels on this one. Perry Mason, I think, also has his own channel here. Gunsmoke and so on. I won't spend too much time here. The other one that I watch quite a bit, I have it together here at the bottom, like I said, is Tubi. And this one, of course, has movies and sitcom. You can see some of the content we have there. Continue watching. And that's what I like about some of these, a lot of these apps, they have a special section, so if you're watching something and don't finish it, they leave it there for you to come back and watch from the where you left off, or pick up another episode and so on. You can even get movies on YouTube. Of course, I use YouTube, watch YouTube a lot, mainly to learn. Watching YouTube over the years, I've been able to do about 90% to 95% of my plumbing by myself instead of paying somebody, just by watching these videos here. Of course, I like to listen to songs also. Of course, if we go to movies here, you have some free movies with ads. Of course, you can buy some movies or rent. And then Prime Video. Prime Video, if you have subscribed to Amazon or have an account with Amazon, this is free. And of course, that helps you out with free shipping and so forth that you have. And I was buying a lot of tools from Amazon. I did have a subscription for it because I would get deliveries within 2 days, free shipping and so forth. Now I just get it on occasion. If they have a free trial, I go ahead and get it, especially if I'm going to order something. And I do have my credit card on file with my Roku account, so I can rent or buy movies using that. And of course, if I want to buy or rent movies on Amazon, I can use my Amazon account for that. I go over to my stuff here. These are some of the movies that I've bought. The Equalizer, you can see there, you purchased this, so it tells me Magnificent Seven, and so on. I bought several. These also have some Tarzan, the original ones, so with Johnny Weissmuller. So there's a lot of content there. Now let's look at how you can add and delete channels and so forth. So like I said, you can go here to add channels. Click on that. You can do a search here if you want. If you don't know what the name of the channel is that you're looking for. Let's say I wanted to add CNN. Say add channel. And it always puts it at the end of your channel grid. So I know I can just go up and it's there. You could go all the way to the bottom like this if you wanted to, but again, I have the favorites at the beginning and at the end. This is not a favorite right now though, but here we have it. Click on it. Wrong one. Okay, let's do it again here. Click on this one, CNN. It has some short features and so forth that you can look through that, but I'm not going to spend too much time here. Just want to look it out to load the channel. And there's no charge for adding a channel to your grid homepage. Now some of these one might have some premium content that you can subscribe to, then you have to pay for that, but just loading the channel to your grid is not going to be a charge. Now if I hit the start button, when I'm selected the channel here, I have several options here. I can close this, I can give some feedback, I can check for updates. Usually this will be done automatically, but if you're having issues with the channel, I would suggest you do this first. You can move the channel, you can rate it, and I'm going to remove it. I don't need it right now, I have enough, so I'll just click on remove channel. Now the other thing again that if you want to organize your channel grid here, let's suppose that, and I watch Pluto pretty much every day. Look at their live TV, or I go to the on-demand stuff and check out some of that content. But if I right-click on this, oh, I'm sorry, click the start button, and let's say you wanted this at the beginning, you wanted to move it or turn the middle, whatever. So say move channel, and then you just hit the up arrow or down arrow depending on where you want to move it. So I'll go, there we go, it's going up, going up. Take it as far as you want, and then click OK. There. And there you have it. Now one of the other things that I wanted to point out, go to settings, so go to the left here, and then we can go, the settings is all the way down over here. So instead of going down, we go up. There it is. Go settings and go to network, and you see on the right you have check connection. In this particular TV, it is a Roku TV, but most of the stuff that I'm talking about here applies to other streaming Roku devices. This is the Roku TV, so it's kind of built in. You can check your connection, set up connection, bandwidth server, and so forth. Remote devices. So go back over here, and it's telling me, okay, I got a battery level of 92%. Theme. And here you can change your wallpaper, your screensaver, sponsored wallpaper, and there's of course seasonal wallpaper, and that's on. So during Easter they'll have Easter stuff there, or during Christmas it'll be a Christmas thing. And then you got your screensaver. You can change that also here in settings. I have it set to 10 minutes. You can change it to 30, whatever. So let's look at wallpapers. Let's suppose that I wanted a Western look here. So I set it to that. Now I have this look on my Roku homepage. And you can go back to settings and go to the one I had or change to another one and so forth. Another thing that is very useful, I know I've used this a lot of times. There'll be situations where you click in an app and it doesn't do anything. It goes back to the home page. You're having issues. You think it might be the internet, or it might be your internet provider. One thing that's worked for me, going to power, is a system restart. That's kind of like if you're having issues with your computer tends to freeze and so forth. What they usually recommend is to restart your computer. Not necessarily shut it down. That might work at times, but usually the best thing to do when you have issues with the computer that they're minor, you can go ahead and restart, and then it's refreshed. Well, this has the same effect on this TV, and it's not the same thing as just turning the power off. That doesn't necessarily work. But this one for me works about, I would say, 90% of the time, 95 at times, depending on what I'm looking at. So doing the restart, and this will take a while. I've used this one time when I was watching the Roku TV, and the screen was green. It was solid green, and it was so dark you could hardly see the images. So this worked. Another time I was prompted that I didn't have an internet connection. I checked my modem, my router, everything to be working okay. I restarted reconnected here, still having problems, and I did this restart, and that fixed it. One time I was watching a test match, and the sound was not in sync. The guy would hit the ball, and about a second later you'd hear the sound. Or in some cases, somebody would be speaking, and the words wouldn't sink in, weren't in sync with the person's lips and so forth. Tried that, and it worked. Now if that fails, the other thing I tried is I unplugged the power. Not just turned it off, turned the TV off, but unpowered it, then repowered it, and that kind of fixed it. Let's go back to settings here. Okay, so there you have your network. We went over that. Theme, TV inputs. You can change that if you want, rename them. And these are things that if you don't want to show, these are on the left side of the home screen. So right now it has featured, free, it's on. But to watch, that's checked. You want to hide it, you just check on hide. The buzz and shortcuts and so forth. So let's go back to that. That's these over here on the left. These are showing here in the home screen. So if you don't want these to show, you want more room on the left side of this thing, go back to the settings and uncheck them. Now featured free is I like it here because it gives you a lot of content here. Free content. And on the upper left there, over here, that's Tubi channel that I mentioned earlier. Roku channel is one that I watch a lot also, has a lot of old shows. Leave It to Beaver, Gunsmoke, Walker, Texas Ranger, over here. This is all free. Rawhide is on Pluto. I mentioned that also. Hitchcock on Roku. So there's a lot of content you can check out here. I like this what to watch here because when I go over here, it kind of reminds me of what I was watching. Because you have, at least I have so many channels that I forget, okay, well, what channel did I watch that? And this one here, if I was watching something, okay, this one I clicked on the Major League Baseball, and that's on the Roku channel. So if I want to continue watching where I left off, I can just click on that. For Forensic Files, I was watching that, didn't finish it. It's on Pluto, I could click on that and start watching that. Even Netflix, I was watching this with Big Arnold, Fubar. This one, continue watching. So I can just go ahead and click this one over here. Now this is actually one of my movies that I bought. And I was watching this one on Roku. Now one other thing I want to point out, I'm not going to go to Spectrum here because I've done some videos on this before, but if you go to Spectrum, this of course is a Spectrum app, so it's not like your regular cable where you can just go ahead and enter the channel 406 if you want to watch, in our case, if you want to watch the tennis channel, or 300 if you want to watch one of the ESPN channels, ESPN1 I believe it is. You just enter it. Of course on the Spectrum app you have to scroll through whatever you want to watch. So you can create a favorites in Spectrum. It could be in movies and put in some sports channels and so forth. But if you're watching full screen, you hit the rewind button, and it takes you to the previous channel. Let's say you were watching channel 300 on Spectrum, and then you scroll down to 406. If you're on 406 and hit the rewind button on your Roku remote, then it'll take you back to the previous channel 300. Click it again, it takes you back to 406. So you can be, and of course that's only 2 channels, but sometimes I'm watching football on this app here, and you can have one football game on one channel, especially college football, and one on another and one on another. So I pick 2 that I like, and I can go back and forth just by hitting the rewind button. Another thing here, if I'm hit the start button, well, right now I'm on YouTube, but let's say I hit the start button 4 times consecutively, quickly. And it says on the screen, screen reader enabled. And let me pick up the sound on this.
In home, Spectrum TV, 1 of 59 in a grid. Netflix, 2 of 59 in a grid.
So all this does is you hover over a certain app, and it tells
NFL, 5 of 59 in a grid.
It tells you what it is. I don't really use it. But that's another feature of the start button. So if I go 4 times again, quickly press it.
Look, screen reader disabled.
I disable it. And you can also do that on if you go to settings, enable it or disable it. So one of the main things that I would like for you to take from this video, and I've gone over some of these in other videos, is what I said about the restart. The stuff about adding channels, deleting channels, that's pretty straightforward. That's using the start button. And I guess just double check here. Start button there. Select a particular app or channel. You can, like I said, you can move the channel. You can restart the channel. Remove it. Check for updates. That's the first thing you want to do, really. If you have an issue with a particular channel or app, if you click on it and it doesn't access it, go to restart, settings and restart, and check that out and see if it works. And then if it still doesn't work, the other option that I've done is, like I said, I disconnect the power completely to the TV. And then I actually go back. If that doesn't work, I go back into the restart, and sometimes after that it does work. But anyway, just things to know, the very basic stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.